It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day and day 7 in Del Mar. Now this is the last day on this project. So yesterday we completed all of the irrigation and burying the lines, and we had started on the rock top dressing. So obviously today we are going to do finish work, which is a lot of fun. We've got Greg, Hannah, Vivi, Kevin, Cullen, and Miguel here today. So we've got a full crew. I thought I would take a minute and show you a little bit of my process with the way I'm doing this detail work today. You know, we make these hills and valleys, and you know, when you have a significant upslope or hill, you have to do something to retain the rock from running down the hill. So I use a variety of different things when I do this, depending on the job. Sometimes I'll use honey quartz rubble, sometimes I'll use Baja Cresta, or, you know, who knows, whatever the rock yard has. But I thought, since we were going with the California Gold 3/8, and the house is basically the same color, it's very monochromatic, which isn't bad. I love it. I think it's sleek, but I wanted to really make some drama. Also, this being more of a specimen garden and us using fewer plants. So I decided on the black chunky lava. I've got a whole basket of this. And what I did is I just kind of threw it down in areas where I saw that we had a lot of sloping, where I knew that the rock was going to run off to act as my retention. Then, after I stage, and this is my process. This is me having some experience doing this. You do this in any method that works for you. So I did that first. Then I'm coming in with the 3/4 inch black. And throwing that down. And see how this chunky rock acts as a retainer for the smaller 3/4 inch. So now I will make a decision, you know, do I want to run the 3/4 through here a little bit? Do I want to back some of this rock out? You know, and I don't know. That's the fun of it. That's the fun of making this stuff up as you go. So I'm going to step back and look. I think I am going to leave this because this isn't going to be sustainable. It's too fragile. So I'm going to do that. I like that. And that's going to hold that rock in place. So you can kind of see I've got, you know, the front done here. I'll be taking this to the back too, and all the way through. I like to do the ribboning with the contrasting rock in my elevated spaces in the yard. I try to go with 3 areas of black for balance. So as I move through the garden, obviously I'm also going to do this area here. You know, then I'll find an area down there. And really, guys, I don't know, you know, what I'm doing. You know this. That's the fun of it, though, is making it up as I go. So I'm going to take you on the journey, show you the process, and together we'll figure it out. I've been so excited about the fiberglass for my pots. Once again, with this being, you know, a very monochromatic installation, I can get away with a little bit of bling. So Greg got some copper reflective fiberglass at the rock yard. I wanted green or brown, and green's really hard to find, so I got the brown. And then you can see that this, you know, this pot has been really well prepped. I like to do cactus in pots so that I don't have to worry about irrigation. I don't like running plastic drip lines into pots at all. It's just not a good look. And it's really also very difficult to control the amount of water your pots get, because this pot, if it was dripped, would get as much water as the rest of the garden, which would probably be too much. So once I've prepped, I'm just going to throw this fiberglass on, spread it around. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I really like this reflective glass in here too. It just winks at you in a really good way. Don't be cheap with it either. Make sure, also really make sure that you have packed your soil down good, really good, before you do any top dressing. Otherwise, in 6 months, you're going to have so much decomp with your soil that you're going to have to take the whole thing apart, add more soil, and replant. And don't nobody want to do that. So this is the plan with the other 2 pots in this landscape. Same treatment. Love it. Oh, love that. And while we're also in the neighborhood, let's talk about the Degutii, the Aquarius. See how all the leaves are falling off? Don't care. It's fine. This happens every single time I plant one of these. This is shock. So the last thing you want to do in a situation like this is throw a lot of water on the plant. It's basically stopped intaking water right now because it's very pissed at being taken out of its can and planted in the ground. So it's punishing me by dropping all of its leaves and pouting. So I'm just going to let it do it. Once it's dropped all of its leaves, guess what's going to happen? It's just going to leaf right back on out again. It'll be fine. So just remember, if your plant shocks when you put it in the ground and starts to turn yellow, give it a couple weeks and resist the temptation to water it. Also, thank you, faithful followers, for in the comments yesterday reminding me about the Petalanthus bracteus for the back wall. After tossing and turning all night, I'm kidding, but you know, I think the reason why I've been forgetting to bring it is because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, and I'm trying to follow my instincts as much as I possibly can. And here's why. In the early stages, a cute little bracteus would look good. But after a couple of years of growth and competing with this Calliandra next door, and then all the growth of the plants here, it's going to be a hot mess. Remember, this is a client that wanted this installation dialed in. So, rocks, repetition, restraint. I am going to restrain myself from planting anything here, for at least for the time being. So that's the final decision on that. I'm also going back and forth on what to do along that back wall. I've had another idea, so I'll fill you in on that when we get there. But yeah, I mean, we're just going to keep on rocking today, and we're going about 2 to 2.5 inches thick also with this rock because it is 3/8. You're going to want to go thicker. Yeah, so yeah. All right, this is Laura Eubanks of Design. Oh, I've already said that. Yeah, we're back, and we are done. This feels so anticlimactic, but it's the grand reveal in Del Mar for the front yard. After 7 days, we have completed the front yard installation. Why don't you jump on down, Hannah? Careful, yay, there we go. Before I forget too, I wanted to shout out Rushme. One of my followers came to say hello today and brought us all water and ice. And yes, and she picked up little pieces of rock that were, you know, askew. So helpful. Thank you, Rushme, so much. Appreciate you. Okay, wow. You know, here we are. We, you know, had this really a fooler of a yard. After we got all of the birds of paradise and the lawn and all the other crap out of here, it was bigger than you might think. This took about 7 yards of California Gold 3/8, and I spread close to a yard of black 3/4 inch, and we used a good 3/4 of that giant basket of big cinders. So yeah, I'm glad that we did the margins we did, because, you know, otherwise we wouldn't have had enough. So, you know, you've all seen landscapes, succulent landscapes, where they've done, you know, the little top dressing rocks, and it's all, you know, nice and tidy and clean. But what really takes it to the next level is that 3-dimensional addition of the third element. In this case, I used the black 6 to 12 inch cinders and the black 3/4 inch cinders to just connect the dots, if you will. So this yard naturally downslopes this way. You can't really see it in the video, but there's a gentle downslope to the street. So I took my black cinders and I worked it through in such a way that all lines point down to the street, and it just flows. This just adds such incredible depth and dimension to this design, and it makes it look much older than it is. It looks like it's been here for many, many years. Hey Vivi, there's some more over here. I went through by myself with a bucket and put down the 3/4 inch, and I missed some spots. So Viv was helping out by coming in and doing all of the little hoovering through here, cleaning up all of the little strays. But that was the point of the 6 to 12 inch too, was to kind of create some natural retention so that they don't spill out of their ranks. Yeah, thanks. Hannah says, show you this barrel. You know, how I went with the black, and then I just brought this through just a little bit right here to kind of soften it and make it look, a lot more natural. Remember, there are no straight lines in nature, and everything a little left or right of center. We are going to continue to work on other jobs throughout this week, and then we'll be back here to do the backyard next week. But you can see here how much of that 6 to 12 inch that I ended up using. I did a full ribbon on this side of the drive, and I didn't do any of the 3/4 inch. I just did a ribbon with the big chunky stuff. And the guys are just finishing up. You can see laying some 3/8 Cali Gold in this bed right here. Yeah, let's move these cups. Because this wall is special. Yeah, this is, Kevin did a xeriscape over here with the San Pedros and the barrels, and it is absolutely my favorite part of the garden. Look at how pretty. Just so simple and yet so elegant. And Kev, also if you want to throw some of that 3/8 down in here too, it needs it. So I told you that I was vacillating about the wall in the back and whether I wanted to do something like this or if I just wanted to do, some sprays of Petalanthus. It's a lot of real estate. But this looks so amazing that it's super tempting to follow this idea through. Over here, you can see, Viv is doing detail work. You've got to remember always, after you've applied your rock, to lift your skirts. Because see there, you want to make sure that you get that rock all the way up around the base of the plant. Very important. Then we might come in through here with a little bit of the black chunky lava and, throw a couple pieces down. But this still needs to be all smooth and, it's just, you wouldn't believe how much work it is to knock out one of these installations. We're going to take this 3/8 and we're going to come in between the joints of these flagstone too to make it look really nice and finished. So I recommend also at this time of year, if you've got an echeveria that has bloomed, be quick to remove the spent bloom so that the energy can be thrown back into the mom. It'll give you more life with that echeveria.
If you want, you can put those blooms in a...
Yeah, you can put the blooms in water or a vase. They're pretty. So if you stick this in the ground, it's not going to root because this is just a bloom spike. Okay. All right. I digress. What else?
Go this way.
Yeah. What else can I tell you? You might want to take a look at this from here. You can kind of get a sense of the movement that the top dressing ribbon type of rockwork creates in the landscape. I'm eager for you all to see these Cameronii when we come back because we put them in as cuttings and they should be red when we come back in a week. They're already starting to turn at the tips. Okay, well, I cannot thank you guys enough for following along on this installation. Your comments have been so fun to read. I've appreciated all of the feedback that you've given. We will catch you on the flippity. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with Team DFS and Del Mar and your grand reveal of the specimen garden. Bye, guys.